is my last heavy lifting session before the American Open. I'm about a week and a day out and getting really excited. My training cycle started out kind of rough. I've been going through a lot of changes with my career. I switched teams, switched coaches, switched the way I train, played around with powerlifting for a while. So my switch back into weightlifting with a new coach and new training style was kind of rough to begin with, but lately, these last few weeks, things have really been coming together. I've made a lot of changes on my technique and they're starting to really pay off and get more consistent the more comfortable I get with the new stuff I'm doing. Some of those things like staying over the bar more, changing my setup, really focusing in on my start position, working on my squat mechanics a lot, just all kind of things, like really revamping pretty much everything about my snatch and my clean. My jerk was already pretty solid. We didn't change a lot of my jerk. These last couple months since I've been training with a bit more intensity, I've actually been upping my calories every week doing a reverse diet. I plan on doing like a whole nutrition series after I move this month and start doing more information about flexible dieting on my channel, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I've been reverse dieting over the last couple months and my weight got a little too light actually, so I had to speed it up a little and start eating a little more faster than I had originally anticipated. But I've been maintaining these last few weeks about 64 to 64.5. I got down to like 63, 63.5, and that's too low. I like to train a little heavy. Today I'm 64.2, so that's perfect. Should be a really easy cut next week. And I'm getting excited to hit some heavy singles today. I just realized just how fast I was talking a minute ago. Apparently I'm really hyper and this is helping. Those were maybe the most frustrating misses on snatches possible at 90, but super close, so I think I'll make it next time I try it. So close to getting in 200-pound snatch club. I wanted so bad. I did a Ask Me Anything on my Instagram, so I'm going to go over the answers to the questions that are on here. The first one is about my move, what city I'm moving to in California. I don't have a place yet, but we are moving to somewhere near Laguna Niguel. That is where Juggernaut is. So somewhere in Southern California. I have the trip all planned out and all of our stops, but I don't have a place to live yet. So we're going to stay an extended stay and figure that out when we get there. part about it. I was a competitive gymnast up through level 10. I retired and just went to school at UGA and was just a student, and after that I started taking group fitness classes at Gold's, and then from there I went on to try CrossFit, like a quasi CrossFit program they ran out of Gold's, and then that went into doing real CrossFit at a real CrossFit gym, and I ended up having my ankle scoped, which was the last surgery I needed for my gymnastics career that I didn't end up doing. I just retired, and coming back from that surgery, CrossFit was just not going to happen. I couldn't do box jumps and running, it hurt my ankles too much, so I decided to only lift and signed up for a meet. How do I keep focused while lifting? I train by myself all the way up until this point. I'm really excited to not do that anymore when I get to Juggernaut, but I write down in my training log every day like what my assignment is and check off each working set I'm supposed to do. I like to put on a lot of good music, a lot of rap during my session. I kind of like tune out the whole world and just think about what I'm doing in the moment. I'm actually a very focused weightlifter. I'm not one that gets distracted that easily. I don't really have a good answer for that. That kind of just comes naturally. I think music and making sure I have a schedule for the day and knowing when I'm going to hit the gym. I'm really like organized about my training. It's my first priority every day. If I miss a lift or if I'm having like a kind of struggle day, how do I get through that? I've been competing in weightlifting for 2 years now, competitively at the national level, and I have just come to realize that that's part of the sport. Not every day you're going to make every lift. There's some other similar sports like powerlifting. A lot of powerlifters train to never miss. You can't do weightlifting like that, especially when you're pushing your limits. There are going to be days that your CNS are not recovered and you just try your best. Even though you're failing, maybe you drop the numbers down, do lesser percentages of your workout that's scheduled, and just try to get some good lifts in if you're not able to hit what you're supposed to hit. There's still days that I get down all the time, so I'm not going to act like I don't, but you just live to lift another day. Know that tomorrow the barbell and the weights are still going to be there and you get to try it again. Have I ever had a time in my life where I was too busy or too stressed to the point that my training suffered, and how to get through it? That's kind of going on right now. These last few weeks have been super crazy. I mean, obviously I'm picking up my entire life and moving across the country, but when I get to the gym and that's my time to focus on my training, that's all I think about. I've gotten really good at kind of compartmentalizing. When it's me and my barbell, that's all I think about. I have so many things going on with my business, with this meet coming up, with the move. I'm super stressed out of the gym, but when it's my time to focus on the weights, that's all I think about, and just clear my mind, and that's a good way I handle stress. There have been times where my training's been put on the back burner, but that makes me very unhappy, and I lift weights because it's my favorite thing that I like to do, and that's not really gone over well. That's made me more in a funk than when I devote that time to training every day and use it as kind of my stress escape. How do you rehab a lower back strain from deadlifting? That's quite a complicated question. Might want to get checked out by a doctor if it's a real injury. If it's just something super minor, maybe some dry needling. I'm a big fan of dry needling and cupping from a professional. Tip for someone who struggles to build muscle that is eating in a surplus, counting macros, and lifting heavy often. If your macros are dialed in and you know they're the correct number and you know you're eating in a surplus, and maybe you've tried to coach, that's what I do for my company. I coach flexible dieting. So if you already know your diet is perfect for lean mass gains, I would look at your training program. Maybe you need to do more hypertrophy training, which would be more of your like 8 to 10 or even 12 to 15 rep ranges. Maybe try adding in more bodybuilding. The higher reps are going to do more to add lean mass versus like the 5 rep range is more for like strength, and then your 1 to 2 is like more of your test. So maybe you need more of that work in your training regimen. Is a career in weightlifting financially worth it? No. There are very, very of us that only do weightlifting, and we just focus our entire lives around weightlifting. Almost every top athlete that you see competing at the national level is doing something else. Myself, I coach nutrition. I have my own company doing that. Another example would be like Courtney Batchelor. She's the best 53 we have in the country, and she owns a business making singlets. A lot of us do coaching and programming, personal training, anything kind of related to the sport where we can try to make a living and do this at the same time. The very, very, very cream of the crop do get stipends from USAW, and they can live off of that, but you have to be really, really good. And I'm not in that category yet. How long has it taken me to get to this point of my career in weightlifting? I started CrossFitting in 2013, and it's 2016 now. I did CrossFit for a year, I had surgery, and then I competed in weightlifting for like 2.5 years, almost 3 now. How long do I think my weightlifting career will be? I honestly have no idea how to answer that question, as long as my body will allow me to lift weights. I have a lot of friends that compete in the master's programming in USAW and just still love it in their late 30s, early 40s even. I have a few friends that are competing in their 60s. Jane, that's one of the coaches at the gym I lift at, she keeps chasing her own records year after year and still loves it. So, I mean, maybe there is no end point to it. A good way to get into the sport. I think CrossFit is a really great gateway into getting into weightlifting, and you can kind of figure out if you even like the Olympic lifts that way, or if you like exercising for time, or you can figure out if you like powerlifting. I think CrossFit kind of encompasses a lot of areas of fitness and is a great way to get started, and then you'll have a coach that can help you with the very basics of the technique. If you don't want to do CrossFit, there's a list of gyms that are USAW affiliated on the USA Weightlifting website, so you can look up a club and find a coach that way. I definitely recommend starting with a coach right off the bat so you learn the right technique. My thoughts on cryotherapy. I touched on that on my last video a good bit, but I will state again, I think cryotherapy is great when your pain level is more in the 7 and up range. I don't think it does that much on the day-to-day basis, but when you have high inflammation and a high pain response, I think it does help. It really helped me during my concussion recovery. Those were really awesome questions. This is the first time I've done that, and I didn't really expect to get that high quality of questions, so that was great. Thanks for doing that for me, and I hope you guys got some good information out of the video, and I'll see you in the next one.